one of these secrets that you're going to go, okay? When I told you I'm going to write a successful letter for this guy's putter, guess what? See this? Here's what this letter says. Want to slash strokes from your game almost overnight? Amazing secret discovered by one-legged golfer adds 50 yards to your drives, eliminates hooks and slices, and can slash up to 10 strokes from your game almost overnight. Now you can learn to use your natural ability to load every drive with 200% more explosive power, almost overnight, getting distance you could only dream of before, while nailing shot after shot exactly where you want it, as accurate as clockwork. And if you're like most golfers, knocking a pile of strokes off your next round, impossible, not if you believe what lifelong professionals and hot new amateurs worldwide are saying. First paragraph, and I'm not going to read it all. Dear friend, if you've ever wanted to drive a golf ball with the explosive velocity of a howitzer cannon, adding half the length of a football field to your tee shot alone, while hitting all your fairways and greens with masterful precision, then this will be the most important message you will ever read. Here's what it's all about. Guess what his putting letter is going to be modeled after? One of the things is, when I wrote the letter that I just wrote to you, I told you it took me 18 months. That's because I was making it up. A lot of the principles of marketing, especially direct mail, honest to God, they were invented by me, Gary Halbert, struggling to invent them. You don't have to do that. Now, we're going to take old Jeff Paul, and someone in this room, I don't know who it is, some anal retentive dork is going to say to me, but this letter is about increasing your drive, not your putting. I mean, someone, just go ahead and say it. Whoever you are, say it. Say it. How can I use this as a model? We are going to use this as a model. And the thing about writing things out to get the neurological imprint, the thing about having a good swipe file is not to swipe those things word for word. You don't have to do that. What you need is you need to be inspired by them, have a template from them. And you know what I've got that none of you else have you had in the room? I've got, well, you will have when you go home. How many letters are we giving them, Terry? How many letters are we giving them? Yeah, but we promised 57, and we've got more in the package. Every single letter is a winner. There is nothing that you have to write about that you cannot find something to relate to. In this case, we're going to relate to it directly. Now, here's what I want you to do. This is a short letter. John Carlton and I work on things together. He has written this. By the way, John is now up to 18 consecutive winners in a row. He and I work together on these. 18 winners without a loser. Now, we're going to break 90 minutes for lunch. And during lunch, I want you to read these 2 pages of this letter. Terry will see that the young lady, Anna, could you stand up? Anna's easy to see. She's one of our South Beach models. She'll help Terry pass. Would you stand up, Anna, so they can see you? They know who you are. And you'll help Terry pass she's going to pass them out. And then when we come back, you all know what we're going to do, don't you? We're going to write this turkey a letter based on this. And it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be copyright infringement. We're going to use this as a model. My question to you is, why shouldn't we? This is running, yes?
I'm just curious, Gary, that template go on. What was the success of that letter?
This letter is running right now as an ad in Golf Digest, and it's being mailed as a letter. John has 3 clients in Visalia, California. He's doing it for, and they almost can't get the money to the bank. That makes it a pretty good template, doesn't it?
The template's bad.
Yes, that's a good point. If your template's bad, actually you can have, the template could still be good. It could still be a very good template, and your promotion might not work because you're not mailing it to a good list, right? or you're not offering something that somebody wants. The key thing that you need to remember above all else is to make selling easy, you need to sell things that people want. And unless you're married emotionally to something, why not? Why not pick what people want? Golfers want to lower their score. Now, I want you all to read this. Then we are going to come back, ask this man questions about his product, and right in front of your eyes, we are going to create a winning promotion for him. Terry's going to type it. We're going to do the whole thing, and it's going to be camera ready. And then we're going to dissect it, and so that you guys will all know how to do it for whatever it is that you're working on. We will, what is it, 5? It's 1 o'clock? Okay, now, I'm going to pick some people. Let me see here. Pierre, you're 1. Anna, you're 2. I'm 3. Eric, are you here? You're 4. Hip, 5. Gene Dowell, it would be 6. I need somebody that looks anal retentive. Excuse me, what's your name? Right, tap him on the shoulder. David?
You talking about anal retention?
Yes, yep. Okay, you're 7. This gentleman here in the plaid, you're 8. I need, who else is here from the staff? Oh, Lorraine, you're 9. And look at this woman with this mean look on her face. See the one with the glasses there? Not the one with you're 10, okay? I would like all of you, instead of doing whatever you're doing for lunch, to let me buy lunch for you, which is already there in my room, which is what? 401. So if you'll come up to 401, you actually will get a free lunch. You just won't get to pick what it is because we just ordered a bunch. Now, all of you that I mentioned, would you please go to 401? The rest of you, the restaurant's set up for you, and we'll be back here at 2:30. Okay? Else got a question? Yes, I do. We just, if you just pass it around, they'll pass. Yes, sir. What? Please identify yourself for posterity.
David Martin.
Okay, you're sure?
I'm positive. I had a look.
Okay.
Besides the Court of Arm letters, do you have any hard and fast rule about opening a letter with a question?
As I don't have a hard and fast rule, my suggestion, until you're very experienced, that you do not do it. I can't teach, obviously, in 3 days, you can't teach 30 years of copywriting. You know, I can make an awfully big dent in it. So what I try and do is teach the safest thing that you can do. And you want to do the most low-risk thing in everything that you do. And questions can be used as an opening paragraph or an opening sentence, but they are more risky than not using them. It's same thing. Same thing. Because you see the danger? The danger is the answer could be no. Or who cares, or no, or they could turn it off. But I want to answer this question over here about long copy. And this may be one of the more important things that I teach you about writing copy. There has been, for decades, since the invention of advertising, debates on long copy versus short copy. It's a ridiculous debate. You are either reading something that is interesting to you or you are not. Many decades ago, a famous advertising man was challenged on this by a client. And the advertising man replied, look, I could write a full page in the New York Times in small type and guarantee you read every word of it. The client said, no way. And he said, so they bet a steak dinner or something. And he said, okay, I'll prove it, and all I'll do is write the headline. And the headline for the page in the New York Times is, this page is all about John Q. Everett, or whatever the guy's name was. Now, if you picked up the paper and saw that headline and it was your name, what would you not read? Now, I'm going to tell you how to think of this, and this is crucially important. This is a crucial piece of information. I want you to imagine that whoever you're with now, as a husband, spouse, girlfriend, significant other, or what have you, is no longer with you, and you're going to replace that person, all right? And for some reason, maybe because he was bored, God appeared unto you. And he said, Buckwheat, I know that you need a wife or a new wife or a new husband, so I have decided to provide you with one. And I have picked 100, let's say you're a man, well, some cases, it's whatever it is, okay? I'm just kidding. Let's say that you're a man and God has picked 100 women. And God said, just because I'm really bored, I'm going to make you choose the only woman that you will ever be with for the rest of your life from this collection of 100 women. And I'm not going to let you talk to them on the phone. I'm not going to let you see a photograph of them. I'm not going to let you see them on TV. I'm not going to let you talk to their neighbors. Nothing. All I'm going to ask is I'm going to have every one of those women write you a letter. And from those 100 letters, you pick the woman you spend the rest of your life with. What would you want her to tell you? Right. No, you don't. Let's forget the picture for the moment, because that, You did. No, but quite seriously, would you want letters like, hi, my name is Bunny, I'm an Aquarian, and I like walks on the beach and rock and roll music, hope you choose me? I don't think so. You'd want to know everything, wouldn't you? How tall she was, how much she weighed, what her religion was, what her age is, what her interests are, etc., etc., etc. Now, what if you are completely happy with the spouse that you are with? And you got this letter from this woman or this man describing themselves to you. How much of it would you read? Probably nothing. Why would you? The point here is this. The people who aren't, forget worrying about the people who aren't in the market or who aren't interested in what you're selling. You are not writing to them. Yes, it's true, those people won't read long copy. A higher percentage of them will read short copy. You know, so what? What makes the difference? What you are trying to is a sale. And when it comes to something important, like choosing a mate or buying, the people who are prospects want to know everything. They don't want to know just a little bit. The people who are not prospects, yeah, more of them will read short copy, because they can glance at it and read it. So don't leave anything out. Don't ever even let that be a consideration. Okay? Now, it turns out that Jeff Paul, who has the putter, already has a sales letter that he has written to sell this item. And he gave it to me to read. I took it up to the room and decided not to read it. I have not read it. We're going to go through it together so that it will be a fresh experience for all of us. Now, there's something that I believe about writing that I have come to believe over the course of my career. I've come to learn. And I think it relates to why am I not rich, me personally. As a matter of fact, I have been rich several times, and I suspect I will be again, probably by the end of the year. The fact of the matter is it doesn't make much difference to me. Now, I don't mean that in money doesn't count, but money will not give you a lot of the things that you think it will if you've never had money. Money will solve the problems that money will solve. The late Joe Carbo, one of my best mentors and friends, said that you should make enough money until you have no more problems that money will solve. But the more significant thing that I found out through the course especially of writing advertising and then writing my newsletter is what a potent tool that is. Do you know that 25 years ago, I would fly in an airplane across the country and look down and realize that I had written words that made 1 out of every 3 homes that I have flew over, write a check to me or somebody that I had worked for. That was 25 years ago. I've probably caused more people to write a check and send it in the mail than anybody in history except the IRS. But when I started writing my newsletter, it added an entirely new dimension to what I was interested in. And seminar. Terry Allion has worked with me for 7 years now. And she's just about indispensable. And recently, for personal reasons relating to not her daughter and her schooling and everything, she had decided to move to Ocala, which is a small town in Florida. And she and I were still going to work together, but it would be by fax and phone and stuff like that. Well, I was preparing for that eventuality, and something happened, it was sort of a blessing, and Terry is going to stay with me. And we have decided that to give up any pretense of us not working together, she's never going to find another boss like me because she's basically the boss. I'm never going to find another assistant like her. But one of the decisions that I've made and that she really enthusiastically endorses is I don't want to do anything anymore except teach. Nothing. I just want to write my newsletter and teach. I have an interest in other business ventures and some that look very lucrative, and I want to give those to somebody, not sell them. I just want somebody to take them so they don't die. I'm going to be telling you all about some of those before the end of the seminar. I'm not selling them. I'm not charging anybody. If you want these things, you go take it. Because with my newsletter, I make a very good living from my newsletter, and it's very, very satisfying to me to write it. The stuff that we're going to do today is a little bit fun, and I like showing off doing it, you know. But the truth of the matter is all it's going to do for Jeff Paul is bring in some more money. Now, when I say all it's going to do, I don't mean cynical, like that's not important. But this will be the 1189th time I've done this, right? I want to introduce you to a young woman. This is Lorraine Vaquero. Lorraine's 15 years old, and she's a columnist for the Miami Herald. And her next article appears Wednesday? Wednesday. You're 15, right? Okay, now we're going to do something here. When I met her, I thought, wow, what a special kid. She's radiant when she smiles. It's like it lights up the room. She's gifted. She's intelligent. And she's in, the Coral Gables or the Miami-Dade school system. Give me a break. So I thought, maybe with this young girl who's a gifted writer, I could get her mom to let her come to my seminar, and I could get a hold of her before the carbonized shit is so dense that she's like all the rest of you people here, right? So what we're going to do is this letter about your putter. We're all going to participate in the writing of this, but I'm going to have Lorraine sit right out here, and she's going to write it. This is going to be, I think, the first 15-year-old person in history to write a top sales letter, and she didn't know I was going to do that. Don't be, just crawl under the table there, sit down. Okay, just take your pad, your pen. She writes for the Yo column, which is a column for kids. Really well-written stuff. I let her read a couple of my letters. Strokes from your game almost overnight. Now, we will begin with a question there because that one I know the answer to. The only thing is, since this is my buddy John Carlton, and just in the interest of creativity, let's not rip it off word for word. Let's just rip off the concept. So someone rewrite that for me. Let's say the same thing. Someone say it. Jesus. Okay. How about who else?
What about you want to stand over a putt and know you're going to make it?
That's pretty good. We'll hang that in there. But we're not talking about putting yet. What do golfers want to do? Okay. So what are we going to begin with? Who else? Who else wants to? He said slash. Give me another word, Lorraine, besides slash. Keep going. Yeah. How about let's take the safe course and put lower. Always opt for the safe course. And by the way, when you're writing something to sell something, if it is noticeably clever, it's probably bad. So what do we got? Who else wants to lower? What? Someone help me here. No, would you go ahead? You started to say what? Strokes from his golf game. I'm not done yet. I know that. But that's a good point. No, that's all right. Immediately. Okay, would you read that back, Lorraine? Who else wants to lower what? That's kind of clumsy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, now, I want everybody here to rewrite that, write that, right now, and do it fast. One of the secrets of good writing is that it's done fast, the first draft. Now, my idea is, who else wants to slash strokes from their golf game almost immediately? Okay, who has one written? What do you got?
Who else wants to drop strokes from their golf game?
Good. That's good. What do you got?
Who else wants to lower their golf score immediately?
I like what you had. We're sticking with that so far. What do you got?
Who wants to cut strokes from their game?
And what did you say?
I said, who else wants to drop strokes from their golf game?
And yes? Go ahead. No. Just,
who else wants to cut strokes from their golf game so fast and easy it will make them laugh out loud?
okay.
Who else wants to heck 10 to 15 shots off his score overnight? Who else wants to lower his handicap?
Yes.
Who else wants to slice strokes from their game fast?
What was your beginning one?
Mine.
No, his.
Who else wants to cut strokes from their golf game?
Hold it right there. What was yours?
Who else wants to drop strokes from their golf game?
Let's use cut. Who else? Huh?
How about who else wants to take strokes off his golf game?
No, let's use cut. Who else wants to cut strokes? What's the rest of it?
From their golf game so fast.
No, I don't want to hear the rest of it because you got kind of unbelievable there, and it's too early to get unbelievable. So what do we got? Who else wants to cut strokes off? What is it? From their golf game?
From their golf game. That's so fast and easy.
No. Go ahead.
Cut has a different meaning in golf.
Make the cut. Make the cut. Yeah.
There's a different, it has a different
Okay.
place in the mind than it's trim this, I'm trimming my score, I'm lowering my score.
Okay.
Sorry.
We're going to leave it the way it is for the moment, and your comment is very good. Now, I want you to notice what's going on here. We're changing this, but let's get this finish it. Now, what do we got so far?
Who else wants to cut strokes from their golf game? And I gave you
Oh, stop right there. From their golf game, I want to add something to that.
Almost immediately.
Almost immediately. Now read it to me.
Who else wants to cut strokes from their golf game almost immediately?
Do you need a number? Or is that too unbelievable?
No, I was thinking about that. That's exactly what I was
Say
thinking
6
about.
or 10 or 12 or...
I was thinking about a number, and that's what he was thinking about. And here's my problem with it. And I am thinking about it. You know, we're talking now. We're doing this. I'm thinking if I put too high of a number in there and the guy's got a 4 handicap, he won't go for it. Or won't be unbelievable. I wonder about a number. Anybody else got an idea?
What about a percentage?
That's a good thought. I'm glad I thought of that. Who said that? Okay, I coached him on that.
What about an effortless?
Not yet. What's our headline so far?
Who else wants to cut strokes from their golf game almost immediately?
What about the word eliminate instead of cut? Eliminate sounds more like it's forever, permanent.
Wouldn't use it in speech. Yeah, I could say cut.
Read it again. What have we got?
Who else wants to cut strokes from their golf game almost immediately?
We're going to leave it as that. Now let me talk to you about the word cut and having a different connotation in golf. This is close enough. No one who is interested in golf who has read this so far. How many are interested in golf? Really interested. Would any of you stop reading so far? Good. Okay. Now, that's the lead-in headline, Lorraine. That's what's called the lead-in headline.
Mary, I don't like the who else. I don't see the connection with who else in this piece.
Okay, I want to respond to that. He doesn't like the who else. Does anyone know why we're using the who else? I'll bet you do.
I suggest other people have already
It
done it.
assumes that a lot
No,
of people...
well that's the reason. Who else?
Indoors.
Anyone else want to know?
It's
To test it,
It's
prove it.
indoor. Here's why we use it. Because it has been proven for 50 years to be 2 good words to put in the headline. That's it. It's like using how to.
That was my suggestion, how to instead of who else.
I know it. I'm not using it just because I didn't think of it. No, who else is a good one? We might use how to later on. One of the, yes.
Mary, can I ask a question?
No. You just asked a question. What's what?
A few moments ago, we said we were going to stick with the fundamentals, and that asking a question initially was an advanced technique. Is there a reason we're going to ask a question right on here?
Yes, there is. Yeah, there is. This piece of copy is a proven piece of copy written by one of the most skilled writers in the world, and it's being refined by another one, which is me. So I'm shepherding this, and that's this. This is really kind of a safe exercise, you know. And so there are exceptions to the rules. And besides that, when I make up rules, they are only valid until I change them. And okay,
I understand. I was just thinking of
you know nothing. What's your name? Okay, let's make it real simple. And we're not going to put putter in it yet. Okay? Amazing secret discovered. This one's a walk in the park, isn't it? By a 72-year-old, and it's always great to put advanced years in your copy. It's always great to put really young years in your copy. You know, so simple. The 7-year-old girl could do it, and it's when you say 72-year-old man can do it. It adds a little something to it. Also, it's specific, okay? So, Amazing Secret discovered by 72-year-old, what is he?
Retiree.
No, what is he? Tell me about him.
I don't know.
He's a farmer, right?
Farmer sounds great.
Where's he from?
Rock Island, Illinois.
Farmer sounds good to me.
You don't
Sounds
expect a farmer to be
discovered by 72-year-old.
Midwest
Illinois
farm.
farmer.
No, Illinois. Midwest is good. Illinois is better. It's more specific. Illinois farmer. And what can this putter do for a person?
Do you want the benefit or the?
Yeah, just start babbling. I don't care what you say.
He figured out he got a patent on a putter that's the only one in the world that has overspin when upon impact, but lifts the ball slightly off the green so that it doesn't bounce into the green like other overspin putters where the ball goes forward instead of backwards. 99% of the putters in the world have backspin, which causes inaccuracy, and his overspin putter goes overspin from the instant of impact, but it leaves the green just ever so slightly, so it does not bounce.
What's
at
the
all.
average golfer shoot 18 holes?
A score?
Yeah.
I guess in the 80s, 90s.
Oh, no. Most golfers have never broken 100.
Oh, I don't know the average.
Does anyone have a clue? I would guess the average golf game is about 110. Does that sound right?
handicap.
Huh? 30 handicap? What, that's 110, right?
102.
102? Okay, let's say it's 102. How many strokes do you think this putter would slash from a guy who hardly ever breaks 100?
6 to 10, easy.
Can slash up to 11 strokes from your golf game
How about one stroke off every hole?
11 strokes from your golf game Okay, you guys are gonna hate me because I'm so tricky at this. On the third day you use it. Now read that headline. Yeah.
Amazing secret discovered by 72-year-old Illinois farmer can slash up to 11 strokes from your golf game on the third day you use it.
Doesn't quite work. Slash doesn't quite work. Can slash up to 11 strokes off from your golf game. Doesn't quite work.
Next time you play
Within
next time
three,
you play with
You don't raise your hands, just talk.
within 3 tries. By the end of the week, the game, so within 3 days.
don't want to wait 3
Yeah,
days.
he says it
Well,
was
3 days, all right. Okay, I like within. That was going to be my next word. Within what?
Three rounds, not 3 games.
Yeah.
Yes, like a round ago.
Round
In
golf.
3 rounds.
Anybody got any more comment?
How about by the end of your first game?
Yeah, your very next game.
By the end of your first game.
Yeah, why qualify it with 3 days?
Yeah.
Very next game. Instead of first game.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's read what it is now.
Amazing secret discovered by 72-year-old Illinois farmer can slash up to 11 strokes from your golf game on the third day you use it.
Okay, no, but and what's the amended ending?
By the end of your first game.
By the end of
By the end? By what?
By the end of
It's
your
not
next game.
believable.
By the end of the week.
If I'm any kind of golfer, I'm not going to believe that at all.
You will when I'm done.
Maybe it's going to lower it, but maybe not by the 11th the first day.
Okay, we're going to talk about. Let's get the headline in, and then we're going to talk about all those concerns. Okay. What is it, Gene? What's the ending of it?
Amazing secret discovered by 72-year-old Illinois farmer can slash up to 11 strokes from your golf score by the end of your first game.
No, we're going to change it to the very first time you use it. That's the question I wanted to hear. You want to know, don't you? Don't you? Okay?
Question?
Huh?
What was the question?
He said, the question was, what is it? And don't you understand? See, that's the question I want, right? I want someone. So what are you thinking when you read this? What is it? What is it? Right. Okay. Just to keep us on track here, and this is going to be kind of sloppy. Now, this is a good thing to do. is to read it and reread what you're creating right from the top constantly. Who's got this down now? Somebody? Right? Okay, what's the whole thing from the lead in right through the headline?
Who else wants to cut strokes from their golf game almost immediately? Amazing secret discovered by 72-year-old Illinois farmer. You can slash up to 11 strokes from your golf score the very first time you use it.
Perfect. Now, the word it ends with a T. And unlike what John did here, I will not put an exclamation mark after that because exclamation marks look too much like T's. So we will allow it to stand alone. Okay. Now look down to where the subhead is.
Gary, you would do that because it's confusion? It's confusing?
Yes, because when you have a T or an L and follow it by an exclamation mark, it is visually confusing. Okay? It's sort of like an extra L. I know you did. What?
Would you have any interest in an alternate headline that I think ties in better with the who else concept?
Go ahead, make a fool of yourself. What?
That's hard to resist. 462 avid golfers recently discovered a way to dramatically improve their scores by up to 10 strokes, ... in just one single afternoon.
I'll tell you what, that's a very good headline. I think it might work. I would bet on this one over that. I wouldn't want to bet my life, but I would bet on it over that. Now, let me tell you why, because it might be interesting to know. It's because this headline is more personal and more tied to an individual. One of the things when people are reading your copy that will make them more likely to order is the feeling that they can reach out and grab you. And you can reach out and grab a 72-year-old Illinois farmer. Do you all understand and agree with that concept? Okay. Next sentence is, now you can learn to use your natural ability to load every drive with 200% more explosive power almost every night, getting distance you could only dream of before, while nailing shot after shot exactly where you want it, as accurate as clockwork. And if you're like most golfers, knocking a pile of strokes off your next round. Impossible not if you believe what lifelong professionals and hot new amateurs worldwide are now saying. We're not going to try and do that, emulate that entire thing, but I'm just going to go through there. And one of the things, is there anything related to this that you guys like? There's something in there I especially like.
Nailing shot after what?
You know, nailing shot after shot I like.
Aula drops off next round.
Okay. Anything else? Yeah, that's the one I like. Accurate as clockwork. Okay. Yeah. So and then we're going to do this subhead. And this subhead is going to be in ital. And it's below the main subhead, and it will be about the same type size as John is using. Is Terry here? We doing this, Terry? We're writing the letter now that you're going to make camera ready. So we've got part of it so far. Okay. This is the This is the headline after the headline. What do we call those? I forgot what we call them. Subhead. No, that's in the copy. To put imagine in ital with a capital I. All the rest are small letters. Dot, dot, dot. I start falling in love with different things in my writing every once in a while. Right now, as some of you have noticed, I'm in love with dots. I think they're called ellipses. You can write really long, wordy paragraphs and break them up. Imagine, dot, dot, dot. Each of your strokes. will be as accurate as clockwork. Anybody want to fault that? I'm asking too.
Do you want to get into puns at that point?
No. No. And I want to explain why. If you are selling to the opportunity seeker market and you run ads like I do sometimes about my newsletter or about my book, and I tell them very specifically what's in it, as opposed to running a blind ad, blind meaning they don't know what it is, the blind ad will almost always dramatically outpull the specific ad. Because in the opportunity seeker market, people lose heart as soon as they find out they have to do difficult things, like get letterheads and business cards printed and apply for business licenses. Because they want it to be magic. No matter what it is, it's likely to disappoint. So I don't want to get specific until they've got an investment in this. I don't want the guy to be able to say at this point, hey, my putting's okay. It's my driving that I need help with. Not yet, okay?
Gary, it sounds like the general principle, not just opportunities.
Not always, because sometimes people are so rabidly interested in what you're talking about. You want to get right to specifics. And in golf, they are rabidly interested in it. But right now, not everybody is interested in every part of their game equally at the same time. Yeah. Okay. Now we're down. Does anybody have any major disagreements with that subhead or improvements?
I was thinking instead of imagine each of your strokes will be, why not just imagine each of your strokes as accurate as clockwork?
I like that better. I like that better. Good change. Wait, okay, hold a second. Now, say it again, because this is what's going in.
Imagine each of your strokes as accurate as clockwork.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Imagine ... each of your strokes as accurate as clockwork. Terry, let me tell you what we've got so far. The lead-in headline is what? I don't even remember.
Yeah, may I make a request while you're reading back to Terry? Could you comment on font size, bold versus not bold?
Yes, I'm going to do all of that.
Kind of
Yeah.
stuff?
Yes, I am. Terry, the lead-in headline is something. It's who else what?
Who else wants to cut strokes from their golf game almost immediately, question mark.
From your golf game.
No. There.
From there.
You got that, Terry? Who else wants to cut strokes? Is that what we have? Almost immediately? Okay, now do you have John's piece there? Is there any way to lower the temperature in here? Why don't you have somebody lower it? Okay. Have you got that, Terry? What are you thinking about?
Think about the next line.
You're lying. They did a survey on how often the average man thinks about sex. Do you, really, seriously, you know what the answer is? Yeah, every 12 seconds. It's like, really, that's really, truly the answer. It's every 12 seconds.
Did they do a survey on how grateful women are that they think about it that often?
No, but I think I know the answer to how grateful they are. Okay, now Terry, we're going to do it the same type size approximately as John did it. What type size is that? About?
24.
Oh, let's say it's about what?
Which part?
24. Okay. Type size is. Do you all understand what type size is? You know, the higher the point, what they say, 8 point, 10 point, 12 point, it's bigger letters. All right?
So the headline 24?
No, that's the subhead, right, Terry? Okay. Let me get this down first. Okay. The lead-in headline. The lead-in headline. Okay. The lead-in headline, let's make the lead-in headline 12-point type. 12 to 14-point type. Okay, now we're going to drop down, and we've got the main headline, which is always first caps in bold. Who's got the main headline? Anybody got it?
Amazing secret discovered by 72-year-old Illinois farmer can slash up to 11 strokes from your golf game the very first time you use it.
No, it's very first time. Very first time.
Score.
Golf score, Terry. And we'll have Terry read them back to check them.
But I need it one more time, because while I'm typing, I can't hear what people are saying.
Okay. Would you read it to her? What's your name? Paul. Paul. Paul is our official reader here. Would you read it back, Paul?
Amazing secret discovered by 72-year-old Illinois farmer. You got that? Can slash up to 11 strokes from your golf score. One of my favorite words. The very first time you use it.
Got it, Terry? No exclamation mark. And now we're dropping underneath that to the main subhead. Who's got the main subhead? Paul.
Imagine ...
This is script. This is in ital. Wait. What point size was the headline about?
Headline
24. Okay. And what in the lead-in headline, what typeface are we using? What do I like to use? Times Roman, don't I?
Yes.
I like Times Roman. And what else do I like? Courier? I don't anymore. I don't like Courier no more. Okay. And is the headline Times Roman also?
Not in this one.
Okay.
This is like, they've got an Ariel. It's very plain.
Well, what are we going to use?
Probably Ariel.
Is that what I would choose after I look at it?
If you want it to match this.
No, I want it the way I would do it.
Well, you've been bouncing between the two lately.
Well, give us two options. Times Roman.
And Ariel.
Ariel. Hey, Audrey, could I get like a Coke and a glass of water? All right. Now below that, we're going to put the main subhead. And what's the main subhead, Paul?
Imagine ...
And this is ital. Imagine ...
Each of your strokes.
Each of your strokes.
As accurate.
As accurate.
As clockwork.
As clockwork. And we're going to change it, Terry. As accurate as a laser beam.
Isn't beam extraneous?
Yeah. I don't like that for putts because putts, you go all around the logarithmic methods, and laser applies straight.
Change it back. Accurate as clockwork.
Every golfer deals with one thing, frustration. At some point of every round, every day out, their major issue is frustration. There's always an element of frustration. So their anxiety is how much and what is the degree of that frustration that day going to be. So why do you go straight to the benefit before dealing with the anxiety?
Well, I already know they have the anxiety, and so do they.
Right.
And I want them to know immediately that I'm going to relieve some of that.
Right.
I want them to at least suspect that I am going to. However, sometimes I will get in step with my reader more than I do here. And because that's when I want to remind him of the problem he shares, you know. You know how it is when you're walking down the street and you're going to work and you're trying to concentrate on what your boss said last night, but all you can think about is what that woman said to you last night when all you said was, hey, could I buy you a piece of coconut cream? And you have to get him going in that. Here we don't. These people are maniacs. But try and write to maniacs as much as you can. Golfers are maniacs. You know what's bad about that? It's not bad, actually. It's pretty good sometimes, but it's noticeable. You know, and that's what I kind of didn't like. What I liked about it is that I don't want it to be noticeable. Can you understand that? The thing is, you don't want people to notice your writing. You want them to be moved by your message.
Jerry, I can't figure out how accurate and clockwork work together. They don't mean. Clockwork isn't accurate.
You're hopeless. You're just hopeless. This is beyond you. You know, think McDonald's. Clockwork is thought by a lot of people to be accurate. Really, it is. It's a pretty good one. Now, there's something else here that I want to bring up. A point that is triggered off by his comment. A couple of points. We are not attempting to write a perfect letter here, nor should you ever. Our job is to get this done. And trust me, we are going to get it done, maybe not as impeccably well as it could be done, but we're going to settle for having it done superbly well, because that way we can keep moving. There's a point where you should nitpick, and we've done some of that, and we'll keep doing it. But there's a point where you need to quit, and you need to move on, because then it becomes an excuse for inaction. There isn't a golfer in the world who would stop reading yet. All right? We're down to the salutation. Salutations are important. In this case, what you're reading is designed to be a space ad. We're going to make it a letter. And the salutation is "Dear Friend." In my opinion, unless you're actually using the man's name, you should never use anything except "Dear Friend." Like "Dear Fellow Golfer," because that makes someone stop and think, how did he know I was a fellow golfer? You know, "Dear Fellow Lover of the Whales," or what have you. "Dear Friend," it has a nice friendly ring to it. "Dear Friend."
Gary, it's off the subject, but when you're writing, when I write pitches to my clients, I sell marketing programs to carpet cleaners. I put things like "Dear Member." Would you suggest using things like "Dear Friend" all the time, every time, as opposed to "Dear"?
How many people on your list?
About 9,000, but my newsletter goes out to over 1,000, but I actually have about 760.
I think "Dear Member" is probably okay. You know, I put "Dear Friend" and "Subscriber." If they know you.
Well, I do that on my newsletter, but I'm talking about certain pictures and things.
I think if they don't know you, "Dear Friend" is always the safest course. If they do know you, you might want to use them. Yeah.
I send out 5,000 letters a month to professionals in the pharmaceutical community. I call them "Dear Colleague." Do you suggest that it'd be better if I say "Dear Friend"?
No, I think "Dear Colleague" would be okay.
Gary, I work with aspiring speakers, and I like to use "Dear Aspiring Speaker." They've already stood up and been counted. They've identified. No?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Use "Dear Friend." You know, the guy may have had a bad speech last week and said, "I'm never going to do this again." He may not understand the word "aspiring." Yeah. 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 You know, he said it might be like sweating. Like, you think that's funny, but anything that can be misinterpreted will be. You know, and I wrote the ad for the Borgnines, "The Amazing Facelift in a Jar." You ought to see the Japanese translation of that ad. I mean, when an ad is translated into a foreign language, it is really very, very odd. when, like if you would have someone who understands that language and had never seen the original English version read to you like the Japanese version and reinterpret it into English, it's really a wild experience, Okay, we got dear friend. Okay, everybody read that first paragraph. We're going to do this one the easy way instead of taking all the howitzer stuff out there. We're going to change that. Some of this I'm just going to take over the writing of. If you are serious about No, if you are dead serious, Terry, if you are dead serious about lowering your golf score, this will be the most important letter you will ever read. That's the first sentence in the first paragraph. Okay, who can tell me why I'm making that the first sentence in the first paragraph? Why I use that? That's one of the reasons. Because they can't say no. That's another reason. Okay, but let's get down to why the real reason I use it. It's because that's a good reason. But the reason I'm using it, it's a proven opening sentence, and it's been proven over hundreds of letters.
Should it be in the future tense, or would it be better if it was in the present tense?
I think it should.
This is the most important letter you will read.
That's what I said, isn't it?
No, you said this will be.
Oh, no, I think will be.
They haven't read it yet.
Yeah, this will be the most important letter you will ever read. But that sentence and its variations has been used over and over. And more often than not, the reason I use something is because it has been proven to work. And once you know something has been proven to work, and once you get your head straight about this is not about creativity. This is about making money. And business is risky enough without adding unnecessary elements of risk to it.
What's the most important part? The dead serious part or the most important letter part?
I never thought of them relatively. That's
Well,
just. I think it's just a good opening, and you could put other things in there. But if you are blank blank blank, this is the most important letter you will ever read, and you could fill in the blank blank blank. Dead serious about lowering your golf score. About if you are finally ready to lose weight. If you are interested in, growing muscle, whatever it is, you can fill it in. Okay,